One of the most challenging things about having a good vibrato is keeping that first joint near the nail from tightening up. If it gets tight, then the vibrato, it might be seen but not heard. To get that joint loose, we need to understand that no matter what kind of vibrato you're doing, whether you use more of the forearm or you use just the smaller muscles, vibrato consists of both active and passive motions. So this means that we cannot have too much finger pressure, otherwise we would get stuck and not be able to release to create that passive motion, and that's part of the equation to help us generate momentum to continue the oscillation. Hey, this is Langerman from Violinna.live, helping you along your musical journey. In this video we are going to go over 2 exercises to help loosen that joint near the nail and to better feel the active versus passive motions in vibrato. They will also help you to control the speed as you continue to develop it. These exercises are great to learn for beginners of vibrato, but they're also a great warm-up for players of any level, including professionals. If you are totally new to vibrato starting from zero, I do recommend that you first watch my video with preliminary exercises that I will link right up here and in the description below. I believe that was actually one of my very first videos on YouTube on this channel. So the first exercise we're gonna do is called, I call it the rubber band snap, and we do not need a bow for it. We are going to start by placing our finger in its normal curved position on the string. I usually start off my students around 3rd position for vibrato, so I'm gonna put my first finger on the note D on the A string. So this is the default starting position. Finger on a slight angle, nice and curved and relaxed. Now we're gonna pretend that there is a string right here in the back of our palm, slowly pulling the hand back. So as the imaginary string pulls the hand back, that first and maybe even the second joint, you see they're gonna flatten. And because the finger needs to maintain contact with the string, it's gonna roll from the fingertip to the pad. So this is like a rubber band in its stretched out position. Imagine you're pulling the rubber band. Okay, now when we let go of the rubber band, what is it going to do? It's going to snap back into its original form, right? So in our case, the finger quickly moves back forward into its starting position. So pull back and snap. So notice how the snap forward, it's going to feel more like an active motion, and the stretch back, it's like a slow build up of energy that's about to get released. So we're going to do this several times. So reach back and snap, and do this with other fingers. Also, don't worry if whether or not the forearm is going to come along with this motion. Whether it does or not, don't worry too much about it, because what we're focusing on is activating that bass joint. Okay, so the second exercise, it's more complex, and we are actually going to start by tapping on the body of the instrument right here. So you can hook your thumb over here, right in the neck. Okay, so we're going to start with quarter notes at a moderate tempo. Now notice when you tap, and do one finger at a time, because we'll vibrate one finger at a time. When we tap, there is a natural rebound, and that rebound, it's passive, and the tapping motion is active. So when we tap, we naturally focus on the rhythm, and the rhythm coincides with the tap. So when the hand comes off the instrument, it's natural rebound, so it's passive. So we want to create the same kind of thing, except on the string. Now, of course, if we do the same idea with vibrato, the finger's never actually going to leave the string, as opposed to when it's tapping. So when we do it on the string like this, when the finger comes forward into its neutral position, this is like the active motion, just like the tap. And when it's leaning back, it relaxes, because this is like part of the natural rebound of the tap. So if it helps, you can actually go back and forth between tapping and doing it on the string. So I'll take the first finger, and now Now I'm no longer lifting the finger. So I'm thinking of the tap, which is coming this way into the original position, and then it naturally rebounds back. It doesn't have to straighten all the way like it did in the first exercise, but notice how the finger is more relaxed when it's in that more flattened position, when it rolls more on the pad. The great pedagogue Simon Fischer actually has a lot of exercises with this concept, and the idea is to do vibrato oscillations on different rhythms, and the rhythmic values are going to coincide with the active motion, the forward motion of the finger, and the passive motion, it would technically end up being some kind of subdivision of whatever rhythm it is you're doing. So you can actually find these rhythm exercises in his amazing little book called Warming Up, but you can of course come up with your own rhythms for this, come up with your own variations. If you're interested to check out this book, I am going to put my affiliate Amazon link down in the description below. It has a ton of warm-up exercises for both hands, and yes, there is a viola version of this book. Also, speaking of this topic here, if you know Nathan Cole from Nate's Violin from the LA Phil, he actually has a great video on flexibility on vibrato from several years ago where he talks about Simon Fischer's exercises in detail, the same ones. So you can actually go check out that video. I will link it as well. So now let's pick a rhythm, any rhythm. So let's say a simple dotted rhythm, and we're going to go through 3 steps. First, we're going to take, I'll do first finger and you can do the other fingers as well. First step is to tap. So we're doing dotted rhythm. Then the second step is to do it without the bow on the string. And if it helps, you can count out loud. 2, 3, 4, 1. So notice when I'm doing the rhythm, the forward motion always coincides with the forward motion, and the tap happen at the same time. And the natural rebound back is some form of subdivision. Finally, for step 3, we are going to add the bow. And you can do whatever bow directions you wish, but later you can start to plan 4 patterns per bow, or 6 or 8. So when you repeat it on the other fingers, I recommend that you go through the 3 steps again. So tapping, so I'll do third finger. Then step 2. Step 3. Okay, and of course on different days you can try different metronome tempi. You can do this with a metronome. Actually, Simon Fischer recommends. He writes a whole list of metronome tempos to do that, and some of them are quite ridiculous, but they are pretty ambitious. And once you get into a groove, you can start doing 3 or 4 rhythms a day. That's it for this video, folks. Please let me know your biggest takeaway in the comment section below. And if you got any value from this video, I would greatly appreciate if you could give this video a like and share it with a friend or a colleague. Also, if you have not done so already, go ahead and grab your free practice template PDF below. Upon doing so, you will also be getting access to my latest blogs and videos twice a month, and you'll be able to reach me directly. Until next time, happy practicing.